Perfect. We're in a weird layout in this room. I know. We have a couple of team members who are joining via Zoom tonight. So we are trying to do a working session. So it's going to be, we're going to go through some of our agenda topics today. We're going to be working in our small groups. I was partnered with Veronica in my small group last year. And so it was perfect. We had a guest in our SSC today. Andre, are we calling this meeting to open? All right, we are going to get started. It is 3:39. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me here on SSC. Meeting number 3. I will bring up the agenda. In fact, now that we are all on Zoom today, and we have that link, which I will be evangelizing into my SSC files, I can share screen a little bit. And in fact, no, I will not share screen. I will send a request to you. We will have the opportunity to review some of these materials today. I will take the first option here to just pull that up and make sure that we go through with our attendance. We do have, I think, quorum to proceed. We have Kendra, Griffin, myself. We have Jose, Lucas, Edith, and I believe that Jillian and Angela are joining via Zoom, and we will wait for them, but I believe that we have enough to move forward. As such, I will ask if I can have somebody call to motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting, October 28th in the NPR. Lucas, can you call that motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Angela put up her hand on the Zoom to tell us that she is here, and she says aye. Kendra? She's in. Love it. We are Zooming this meeting, everybody. Well done. Congratulations. Wonderful. With those meeting minutes approved, we will move on to the core of our content today. We do not have our lovely Michelle Guarino for ELAC updates is not with us in the room, so we are going to move on and invite any public comments or questions at this time. Recording. Otherwise, we're going to talk about our new business for today, which is about our program evaluation. So we're going to use this as a bit of a working session, and Angela and Kendra will very much welcome your considerations. This is a different kind of evaluation to last year, because what we discovered in our last session is that we have our Title I funds going against reading interventionists who are situated in the elementary school. So it's a different story to what we were talking about on previous years, where we had spread out those funds across different things. Now our task is to measure the reading interventionists. And so I've got some paperwork here just for us to have a look at. This you can scribble and work through. And what you'll see here is, and I've got a number of things for us to have a look at with our time today. We're not going to solve for this today. This is how we start to make a plan. And we use our time as wisely as we can while we're in the room. We've still got a bit of a false start, and me being rubbish on the Zoom is not helping the false start. But what we are going to workshop today, and I'd love to get some brains behind, Kendra, I'm excited for your research, is thinking about our local goal of goal 3, which is the goal that we have identified is around supporting that reading interventionist. The goal 3 for LCAP goals, which is on this page 1, I'm just going to familiarize you with this weird document for a minute, is that the goal 3 is meant to close the structures, create structures that close the achievement gap and support the needs of targeted groups, such as English language learners, socially disadvantaged, and students with disabilities. And so within our goals, within our LCAP goals, this is the one that is about closing that achievement gap and really supporting all schools. And this is where we had previously put our reading interventionist funds, that in providing reading interventionists and ELD specialists that would support students in improving their literacy skills and language development through tiered interventions and strategies that would collaborate with other teachers and implement effective practices to enhance student achievement. So what we have in here is a worksheet really that will get us to, we hope, an understanding of what is working with our reading interventionists, what is not working, and what do we recommend to move forward with. This is the crux of our work as an SSC, is to say what worked, what didn't work, and what do we suggest to move forward? Do we recommend we spend these funds next year on reading interventionists? Or do we not believe that that is the best spend of those funds? That is the job. And so what we need to do is think about how can we get quantitative and qualitative data to support that? Can we prove out that our reading interventionists are helping to close the gap between our lower performing students and our higher performing students, especially across those targeted groups? What kind of voice of families, parents, and students can we hear, maybe in a survey, to be able to receive feedback about the reading interventionist program and whether that is effective in really helping to shore up students who are struggling? Those are the things that we are tasked with finding out. So I'll gather us on this page again, and then we're going to spend 10 minutes, if we can, working as a small group. What you will see on this sheet is actually on the second page, 2024 to 25 is how we completed this worksheet last year, right? So last year we went through the results and we did discover that there was a decline in some performance, and that the recommendation was to continue to improve, however, the connection between the reading interventionists and the specialists with the tier 1 teachers. And so that was what we had suggested from last year, which was why we were continuing to recommend that continuing support. The question now that I'm going to close with, and let us work in small groups, and then I will come back on, perhaps we will designate a time. Maybe it's only 5 minutes, 7 minutes, we'll decide in a second. We're going to come back on, and I want us to think about how we would recommend, how we're going to pull that data. So we're going to work in groups though. I would like us to think about quantitative data, so test scores, and I would want to think separately about the voice of the families. So I will suggest that we'll work in groups if it makes sense. So maybe we can have you guys, you three working together on the back. Veronica, you're Veronica's like, no, I didn't mean to be here. And then we'll three work here. And if you two on the phone would like to also, I would like to suggest that we will do the qual, the voice of the student. And if we could ask you perhaps to think about what test studies or findings you could find out for qualitative data points, that would be helpful. So we will think about voice and survey data, and perhaps you guys could think about quant. You're on quant. You're on quant. We're on qual. You two pick your own adventure on the call. Okay. We are going to spend until 52 to talk about this in our groups. We'll reconvene back on the mic at 3:52.
Okay.
So I will.
I'm with you, Kendra. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
How
good.
are you?
I'm
So
doing okay.
we're doing. I know.
What are the
There's-
measures of success for
Yes,
the interventionists?
we
So
do
what is
have-
it? They read one book that they
Oh,
can
no.
read?
We-
So what is it? What's the
we do
measure?
have I'm sorry, just I keep talking and I just get distracted. All right, sorry. We do have 3 different reading measures that we can do. We can do fluency measures, so we can do a fluency test.
Right.
We can do something called BPST. The BPST measures phonic patterns on the student. And then we do have another one called a MACE. A MACE is a measure that measures reading comprehension.
Okay.
So those 3, I'm sure, like if we get a sample group from the reading specialist, that they do from TK, I know they work from TK to 5th grade. If we get a sample group from their students and we measures before and after, because I know they do have those numbers before, because I use those numbers to see how the students are doing. If we get a random sample from them and then we measure, then we can calculate how well the reading intervention has worked.
Okay.
That's my recommendation. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to, I mean, that makes sense to me. That makes sense.
Okay.
Sense.
I don't know in terms of the random sample. I will have to ask Dr. Diaz, who is a doctor, who knows a lot of statistics, because you need those to write your.
No, there's no statistics involved here. I'm also a
Well,
PhD. There's
in
no,
terms
there's
of,
these aren't big enough numbers.
no, but in terms of the random sample, I don't know
Oh, I
how
see what
big
you're
of
saying.
the sample
Why
should
can't we just
be.
do everyone who gets
Everyone is
no,
it's way
impossible?
too. Well, no, it needs to be a random sample,
Okay.
in my opinion, because then you can see if you take them randomly, and then you get 80% the best, like or let's say from that random sample, 80% of the students have done better. It's
Right.
working.
Well, the numbers just were so small when I saw them before for the outcomes of stuff. That's all.
About like what numbers?
The numbers that were shared from last year.
There were a few kids, right?
Yeah, just very few.
I don't know. I know the two reading specialists in the elementary see a lot of students.
Right. Okay. That will be.
Maybe I would say maybe 100 between them.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's true or not,
Right.
but it will be a number on those lines. So if we take a
Right.
random sample from those 100, I think we can definitely make a conclusion.
Right.
My opinion.
Right.
I don't know what else to do. In terms of quantitative families, we also can do a random sample of interviews, like phone calls interviews,
Yeah.
and see how parents are interview the families to see how well they think their children are learning, if they think their children are still reading, they still have reading challenges, or they have done much better with their.
And we're doing it for Spanish and English?
It will be for English only.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we can do the interview can be in Spanish since some parents don't speak English, but what we are measuring is the English
Yeah, so I don't
language.
see how that could be useful if the parent doesn't speak English.
Well, but the parent know.
Yeah.
So let's say I don't speak any English, right? But I have my children in an English school, and I know my children has reading difficulties, but then I'm noticing that my children is doing much better in the classroom. It's a qualitative, it's just an opinion.
Right. I don't know if we want opinions, though. I don't think this is about opinions. I think it's
for qualitative. Qualitative is it's
qualitative doesn't. I don't think opinion should be involved. Honestly, it's not. That's
okay.
not qualitative data. Qualitative data is just non-numerical.
Okay.
Qualitative.
Can you hear us, ladies?
Qualitative is base.
They're definitely talking to each other.
We are. So we're talking about.
Andrea, can you hear them?
Oh, you cannot?
Tell us what they're saying.
Can you hear us?
Griffin can hear you. Now we can hear you.
All right. So we're talking about quantity versus qualitative. So quantitative are data, right?
Yeah,
Versus
qualitative is data. It's just different type of data.
okay. So from that, from a questionnaire to the parents, a random sample, we can figure that out, and it has to be random, and we cannot differentiate between parents speaking or not speaking English. You don't you agree with me on that, Sandra?
Yeah, yeah.
So these two, we have a sound challenge. We, our dear friends on the
Sorry.
Zoom are asking, I think, about the level to which our work needs to identify key members of the group, perhaps those who are not having English language as their first language, for example. Although I think that strays into the work of the ELAC group. I don't know though, but I don't know. I would love to hear more. I wonder if we should hear from this group on quant. We'll tell you some ideas on qual, and Kendra, Angela, we will finish with you, fellas and ladies, if you have anything else to add. Okay.
Okay.
The brains at the back. Look at this.
Can you guys hear me on the answer? And you can hear me. Is it too echoey? That's okay.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, there it is.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
So what we looked at was, and if this is publicly accessible, sorry. My English learner Tourette sometimes comes out. It's publicly accessible, but the California dashboard. And so one of the things we looked at was the progress from last year. So if you look on the dashboard and then you click into our English English learner progress, which a lot of our reading intervention was focused on, but not only. We actually made some significant progress from the previous year. So on the dashboard, it'll just show a color blue. But if you dive into the details, you'll show from 24%, we had about 36% of students that were improved one level or more. But last year, we had about 60% of kids improve from one level, LPAC 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, which is the largest jump we've ever had going back to 2019. So that's significant. Previous years was like 40%, 40%, 50, 57%, 36% the previous year. And then last year that means 62% of our students made progress that were English learners. So that's some good data to use, because that's great. Obviously our reading interventionists. Now we'd have to dive further into detail to disperse how much you're right.
Can we connect that? Or
Correct.
When can is that a different data source to what we might be able to connect to those who had a reading intervention?
Correct. So what we'd have to do is find out from the reading interventionist who they met with.
Identify that.
Yes, identify that cohort specifically. And then we could dive into that data.
Now, what we did, I think, last year was, instead of identifying that cohort, was I think we just looked at overall grades.
Correct. Yeah.
Can we discriminate that data?
Yeah.
That
We
group.
could do that. I could provide that for them.
You think you could?
Yeah. Not this second, but.
It makes a lot of sense rather than collecting.
You're giving us good indicator data right now. We will look at the data towards springtime when we are ready to actually understand more about that data. I would like refreshed data. Okay. Love it.
But it makes sense if there's already data out there rather than collecting brand new data.
Say again, Ken.
Oh, it makes sense to use the existing data if it's already there.
100%.
Collecting brand new data, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Those tests that I'm talking about, those tests already exist too. It's just different data. So the data that Dr. Diaz is talking, which is totally great, like we can go for with that, is a state testing.
Okay. I think that the state testing was what I think we used last year.
Okay, we can do that for sure.
we use the CASP
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the maths. I think that's you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll follow up on that and we will add some more data points to that, but that is a good plan that we will use existing data, California dashboard and the state testing. And when we have those results and some fresh data, we will recap on that in the new year, February time or in March time. And we will also harass Dr. Diaz for cohort information. I may not harass you.
Okay.
Or I may. Okay, Kual, we had some great ideas from Lucas with regards to surveying the families. Do you want to, your mic?
I don't know, but is this working? Can people hear me? So, just as a parent, we have that 20-minute reading at home requirement. So I thought if perhaps the issue with support at home is the main thing we're trying to examine, that we send some type of intervention, some type of survey to go along with that 20-minute of reading homework, whether that's kind of asking qualitatively if they think it's enough. Is it challenging? Is it impossible to do with given all the different parental responsibilities after school? Get all those kind of questions and see if that's working.
A survey that would both reinforce the need for that at-home support, perhaps ask if they would like to have more discussion with staff or teachers, but also maybe help us understand any home-based barriers to reading.
It's just in those areas.
Okay.
How'd you like that on the phone? Kendra, you like that idea?
Yeah, I do.
Barriers.
Yeah, address the barriers, like try and understand. Because what we were saying, my son's in a reading interventionist, and actually here it was almost like we forgot that parents had to do something. Like we were like, oh, you need our help? Oh, okay. Once we turned it on and we started to lean in along with that reading interventionist, we've just seen him accelerate. Right? But I'm sure that there's a lot of parents who maybe their home life work scenario is really struggling with that. And if we knew that, perhaps next year we would provide more support or more structure for the 20-minute reading homework to help parents really get on that.
Some parents, who need that extra support.
Yes. And I think that survey could work hard for us. I think we would identify which grades we would do it. Is it all grades?
Could be, yeah. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know if the requirement is different per grade, or if it like middle schoolers are different, or are they the same?
In middle school, we will recommend the 20 minutes as well for reading. If a student is struggling with reading, we'll recommend the same.
Yeah, you do the same at the middle.
Yeah.
Is the reading interventionist, is that person aware of their goals and sort of what's being measured about their work with each individual kid?
Great question. Sorry. I don't know why.
The echo.
I don't know what I did. I'm not even on the order.
That was me. That was
Great.
Sorry, I was trying to hear the first part of the question, Kendra.
Yeah, can you repeat it?
Oh, I was just curious whether the reading interventionist is aware of the goals for each kid and the measures that that's sort of being expected.
I can answer that. So every kid is different with their reading. So they're in different stages of pattern, like phonic patterns. Some have comprehension,
right.
Some are fluency,
right.
Some are, But when we measure the reading, we use standard testing that will tell us if a student can read or not, based on fluency, comprehension, and phonics.
Okay, so they're following that.
Okay.
But the students will have different goals.
Right, clearly.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to move us on, my friends, because we're at 4:03. I think there's a really great idea though, and I will follow that up in writing, because one of the things we will want, I think there's a great question of connection between the reading interventionists and the classroom staff, right? Just a check, I think. In terms of test results, we can reconvene on when they will be accessible. We are talking at our February timeframe that we would look for at the next meeting, basically to come with refresh data on those if it's accessible at that time. With regards to issuing a survey out for the community, which could go to all parents, we would need a staff member to really help us to facilitate that, of course. I'd be more than happy to, work with you to do a draft. And then we would want to think about timing in the new year. No one's going to be doing so. This is not the week to survey our parents. In the new year and get a survey out, which again, I think we can just follow it up as a plan to get ourselves organized. A nice survey asking about that homework, which I love. I survey access to a cohort of ER interventionist students, California dashboard, and English learner state testing data as well. Okay. If anybody have any more business for today?
No.
Then I will call this meeting adjourned at 4:04. I thank you all for using our time very, very wisely and getting really practical with it. We will extend our session together in February to have everybody, if we can, try and all be in the room so we can finish that work, I think, and try and just get a little bit more scrappy in it. I hear that with some of our, I don't know whether it's tech, a new room, weird layouts of tables, all of the above can sometimes make this committee work a little bit harder. So if we can get a 45-minute or an hour session in the new year, we will do that. Thank you, everybody, for your time today.
Do you have the date for that already, Rachel?
Thanks, Kendra. Thanks, Angela. Bye.
Do we have the date for that?
Well done.
In January. Is it already in our schedule?
Yeah, no,
30
great.
minutes.
Yeah.
That's good.
January will be February.
Yeah.
I have
What's
February
the
the 3rd.
Okay.
The 3rd.
Okay. And you'll tell us what the time period is.
For the meeting is at 3:15. Oh, that's what I
No,
have
she
in
said
here.
to extend it. She was going to extend it.
Oh, okay. I think yes. You have
Okay.
to send her an email. Thank you, Kendra. I
Take
need to
care.
know too.
What? Yeah, you
I need to know.